Hey, we're back in the lab with podiumarcher.com. MFJJ here talking to you about the new Hoyt RX7. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, keep following along, and stay till the end because from now on we're going to post all this information for like the last 10 seconds of the video, all the testing we did, and the exact numbers. So don't bother writing it down as you go, just watch till the end and write it down then so you know what we came up with. Come along. This was the bow that I was actually most excited to test out of their line, and it was the last one to get here. We just got it today, more than anything because I thought it actually might be pretty snappy and the average customer is going to be excited about the velocity that this bow puts out. They completely redesigned this carbon riser. This is new, this is different. The whole RX series, the riser was basically the same. Yeah, they changed it a little bit here and there, but they didn't change how it was made. They completely changed how this was made. The carbon actually goes all the way up and is in the limb pocket instead of a little aluminum sleeve that glues over the end and creates friction and noise and vibration. So this bow might actually be the first carbon bow they've made. I know the RX7 Ultra did. Might actually be quieter and less vibration than its aluminum counterpart, and because the RX7 and the Ventum Pro 30 are basically the exact same specs, we might actually be able to find that out. So I'm anxious to know that. This bow is clean. This bow looks really good. This bow is $1,900. Oh my God, that's a lot of money for a bow, but it might be one of the only $1,900 bows on the market that might look like it was $1,900 and feel like it was $1,900. It's a pretty impressive bow, even though that's a lot of money. They do incorporate a spot for the sidebar that they offer in their line, which is pretty neat, and you can put a two-piece quiver on it, and everything's slim, sleek, and integrated, and the Picatinny is molded in. It's not a secondary piece like last year, which is also pretty cool. This bow is rated at 342 feet a second, a 30 axle to axle, a 6 1/4 brace height at 3.9 physical pounds. Has two different modules that go into the same camp. One's 25 to 28, one's 28.5 to 30. The transition between 28 and 28.5 is going to drastically change the velocity of this bow, so depending on what draw length you test it in, it will have a big variance in speed. It gets a lot slower when you go to 28.5, then it catches up to 29 somewhere in there. Bow peaks at 40 to 80 pounds, so you got a 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, 55 to 65, 60 to 70, and 70 to 80. Those are all the weights available in this bow. So let's start taking some measurements. 30 axle to axle. Pretty close, little shy. It's probably like 29 7/8. 6 1/8 brace. Yeah, good solid number. Says it's 3.9 pounds. Subtract a half pound to 0.6 of a pound for the stabilizer and arrow rest. 4.8, so it's probably a little heavier than 3.9. Let's see what the draw weight is at. This is supposed to be 70 pounds. It's however they sent it to us. We'll change it accordingly. This definitely pulls harder than the Highline. Ooh. That is 77.1 pounds right now on a stock 70-pound bow. So we're going to have to back that down a bit, probably like 2.5 turns. Let's try 2 to get to 70. I thought that felt heavy. Alright, here we go again. That was a lot better. 71.4. That's close enough. If you want to be picky, take off 2 feet a second, 3 feet a second for a true right at 70 weight or velocity. I think that's all the stuff to measure, right? So let's fire this a few times. Excited to see how this feels. It's been a long time since they've really authentically changed these bows a lot, and I'm anxious to feel an expensive bow that feels pretty good. I'm optimistic. Cycle's pretty nice, can't complain. Pretty smooth all the way through. Little bit of vibration, but it dissipates really fast, like really fast. Goes away really quick. Yeah, there's not really a hump. It does dump a little in the back end, but it doesn't feel like you're falling off a cliff. It just kind of stops. Squeezes pretty good. Yeah, the vibration's gone in about 1/4 of a second. You feel an initial and then it's gone. I will say the Ultra definitely had less vibration and feel. I think this probably has a little bit more recoil and vibration than the Ventum 30. But you are talking about a bit of a physically lighter bow, so that's something to consider when you're comparing those things. Yeah. Draw cycles about the same as the other ones. It feels real similar. Mind you, this bow peaks at 30 inches, so it's going to feel about as bad as it can possibly feel at 30 inches, just so you know. So let's pull out that crony and shoot a couple arrows out of it. All right, so do we need to weigh this arrow again just so you see it's 350? Might as well. It's another little snackable bit of content. All right, so 349.9. As fair as we can get it through a 30-inch, 70-pound RX7. Scale weighted on both. Here we go. $325. $322. $320. So we're going to give that a 322, which it's rated at 342, so that's quite a bit off. I will go ahead and change the let-offs on this because I had somebody comment that we're not changing the let-off and trying that and seeing if that gives you any more velocity than that 322 average, which is a little slower than the Ventum, if I remember right. Back the screw out. You can take it all the way out, but you don't have to if you do it just right. You pull it out, and it's actually going to make your draw length a tiny bit shorter. But we'll see if that makes it go faster or even slower. It should make it go faster with that little bit of holding weight, and you're holding it in a little more aggressive spot, but we'll see. Ooh, not quite enough. Just a little more. There you go. Alright, so this is now in 80%. We'll give it a couple more shots through the crony and see if we can squeeze even just a couple more feet a second out of it. Alright guys, so this is at 70.6 pounds, 30 inches, and 80% let off. We'll shoot 3 through that. $327. $325. $326. So that's the average of 326, and with an 85% let off at 325, that's a very small difference between the two let offs. So decide which one holds better for you at that point. When you do put this in 85%, you are technically making the bow a little longer on the draw. It's probably 1/8 of an inch, something like that, so maybe keep that in mind. But the bow is published at 342, so that's 16 feet slope. That seems to be a bit. I think the Ultra was a lot closer than that, if I remember right. But all in all, it's a very nice feeling bow. It's very clean, very good look. I think the vibration loss from the previous models are probably from this new system, to where it's made out of one piece instead of multiple pieces glued together to try to make it work, which I really do like. I really feel like Hoyt's making a very big effort to justify the cost of this bow by making something that's authentically new and different, and might help justify the cost of what this bow is. It does have the integrated Picatinny into it now instead of a bolted on piece that you change out later, so it's a little cleaner look. But hey, it's all in all, it's a pretty dang nice bow. Once again, I'm not sure if it's an $1,850 bow, because that's an awful lot of money compared to the other ones in comparison, but it's definitely a very nice, high quality bow. Head on over to podiumarcher.com for all your archery needs. $99 and up is free shipping. Let me know if there's something you're looking for that we don't have. If I can get it to you, I will. I'll get it listed. We probably end up listing an extra product a week just from messages we get from you guys to try to get it out to you. If we aren't allowed to sell it, I'll let you know why, and then hopefully where you can get it if it's feasible for you to get it in that way. Hit like, hit subscribe, keep coming back. Make sure to follow along as we start doing giveaways. Those are only going to be for people that follow us on Instagram and on YouTube. So you have to subscribe to our channels and follow us on Instagram when we start doing giveaways, which will be pretty soon. First one probably will ship your bow to me. We'll put strings on it for free and retune it up for you. But I haven't decided yet, so more than anything, guys, thanks for checking us out.